Are you on the live stream?
We are live.
Hi, I wanted to say that I know there's been a lot of prayers sent out, and I just checked the internet, and I see so many people who've been following this occupation, really sending out lots of prayers to us into this occupation. And I want to say that we definitely received those, and then we'd like to also redirect them and send our love and our prayers out to people of Attawapiskat and the rest of the communities that are in a state of emergency right now. Yeah, and we just hope that everyone continues to do that and continue to realize it's not only Attawapiskat that right now is a state of emergency, but there's also many other First Nations, including Sandy Lake and Cross Lake. We want to send our prayers to them too. Thank you guys all for streaming with us. I think that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Anytime you want to talk.
I like coming onto this live stream. It's nice.
I know.
Yeah.
It is.
I guess my great grandma was watching it earlier because she just sent me a text. She was like, "Oh, I seen you on the live stream." I was like, "Oh, well."
Yeah. You want to say hi to your grandmother?
Say go Dada, happy birthday.
Oh. Because it's all instantly archived, right?
Yeah. Oh, really? That's so nice. Okay, good. Well,
as soon as I hit save, it's instantly archived and available for viewing.
Okay, well, also good old input then. Love you lots.
I don't know whose phone this is, but I'm unplugging it to put my thing back in.
For sure.
I have no idea who that is. It's the reception to INAC.
Right here and ready to go. If there's an accident within the building, we will do such and such. First idea. No, wait, when you train, to your building that's filled with crude oil, what are you gonna do? And what is the community? What is your emergency plan? Crude oil burns green dioxide. Yeah. And, well, if there's an accident in the building, 3 or 4 times we would say. There's 2 buckets. What are your days? What is your answer for this? And water. So then we, Jonah Shine and what's his name? Yeah. Because the community has never. No. Right, we licensing, okay. Oh, yeah, for sure, that's, they close the water for one day or something. Maybe, just, like, or receive. So, and the community programming, we understand, we see the issues with this speeding up. And we can get some of the issues, our valley, issues, and it's caused by.
Yes, so Ojibwe won. Hey, it's been a while. Defending the land and indigenous lives go hand in hand. That's right, Ojibwe won. If you're watching in the archives, this is still Wednesday, April 13th, 2016 for the deep archives, but it's approaching midnight. Sigrid, what time is it? 11:53. In 7 minutes begins day 2 of the Occupy INAC. So that's 14 hours. Holy moly. Approaching 14 hours. for those that missed it, 2 James Bay INAC offices are also being occupied. So now there's 3 occupied INAC offices. This one here in Toronto, and 2 we found out earlier today in the evening. 2 on James Bay INACs. I'm assuming it's the Ontario side and the Quebec side, but I have no idea. So that's glorious, glorious news. 10:55 in Red Lake. There you go. Is that Red Lake, Saskatchewan, or Manitoba? Ojibwe 1?
Safety plan is if a train deteriorates crude oil and smashes into your building, and there's all this body going on, and finally the stands up and says, oh, we have multiple barriers in place. And who's about to finish, I said, you have multiple barriers, you have a chain link fence and a building. What are you talking about? And then I was like,
when we went on, it was like the next person who will next. And then it was coordinated. After that, it was like
Red Lake, Ontario. Thank you, Ojibwe. That's way up there if you're an hour behind. That's got to be near Kenora there. Because Ontario is in 2 different time zones.
that was down in the States, but it was radiated here. So when they were talking about this, it was something about a worker fell off a ladder and the concern wasn't really going for the it was more about the safety issues of, why the ladder isn't secure. And so enough with the ladder, you're not really concerned with the health of your worker, because you're completely dismissed. How is he?
Yeah.
And it's my
Yeah.
So you still have a juice in your one, you look like YouTube, your stance, your feet.
Like all those. Yeah. He's the one who is like organized.
Holy moly. You cut out, shot victim 5 times in the cop shot someone at Bloor and Young tonight. Victim shot 5 times in the, and you cut out there, grassroots committee.
Tonight, Lauren Young.
Bloor and Young. Just due south of here, 5 minutes by car. That's right, Ojibwe 1. Police state violence has got to stop.
Yeah.
Nice. Grassroots committee. I was the last to leave.
Right. Do you have the number?
Yes, Ethan Young. We had learned. This was the first. We're at 25 St. Clair Avenue East in Toronto. We're at the 8th floor, so we occupied this at 10:15. Then we found out earlier in the evening there was Occupy James Bay INAC. And then a couple hours later we found out that there was a second INAC office in James Bay that was also occupied. So this is the third INAC. There's three. Two in James Bay. We do not know how many offices in and around James Bay of INAC it is. We do not know which offices of INAC in James Bay are, but we know that two INAC James Bay offices. We're assuming one on Quebec, one in Montreal, Ontario side. We don't know, but we can confirm there's three. Cop shot the person in the back 5 times. Cowards. Cowards.
Oh, beautiful.
Jap H on the live chat says, been following you all night and will continue to solidarity from an ally. Yar.
From outside.
Oh, so many. That's
I
nice.
know. Yeah, they're still holding their guys, we made it to 12 a.m. Woo, it's been like how many hours now?
Which place? Sorry?
It's 12 a.m. now.
Yay!
How many hours have we been at it?
14 hours.
14 hours. And I guess it's opening up here at 8:30 a.m. So we only have 8.5 more hours to go until we can bring in more people. Woo!
Yeah, we'll see how they deal with it. Because if they go as far as shutting off the air here since noon, 1 o'clock, I would guess they shut the air off. And then, they overreacted with the cops. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, yes, right. But that's a good point. 8:30, yeah.
Because they're going to have to let it open it back up, eh? There'll be people coming in for their jobs and whatnot. They gotta keep those INAC people on the payroll. It's a big fucking building though still. We're on the 8th floor.
Yeah.
8th floor, 25 St.
Hey,
Clair's.
Shanger, do you want to give your emergency contact in case you're arrested?
They already have it.
Rachel lost it. She didn't say
And
like.
she wrote it down.
Oh, she wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say there's 7 on the 8th floor here, 7 police here. I know at one point there was 7 cruisers outside and 2 paddy wagons. I also know that there's about 40 to 50 supporters outside, and in solidarity. I know that when we came in this morning, around just after 10 a.m., Black Lives Matter Toronto was here in solidarity with us, and I know a lot of their members are outside as well. They've been supporting us all day, and thank you to Black Lives Matter Toronto supporting the First Nations. I want to repeat, and this is extremely important, this peaceful assembly here is led by the First Nations people, and we as allies and Black Lives Matter Toronto, we are allies, and we are at the behest of whatever the First Nations. So as to how the day unfolded, how long it's going to be, all I like to say, it's not my department. It really isn't. I have enough things trying to do to keep the miracle of this live stream going. and I have a lot of things to worry about. That, and I'm just an ally. And whatever they need, if they want to leave, like right now, if that's what they decided, then we're out of here. But it's up to them. And really, I think the regional director of this office here, she could have averted all this by actually having a proper meeting with everybody instead of talking at each other. She caused this today. She could have diffused the situation and really, really been sincere about things, but she wasn't. I believe her name is Anna. I don't know her real name. And so because of her, the way I see it, this is why we're here now. She could have averted this, but no. The whole point is why the First Nations people here decided to come here is to ask about Attawapiskat. What about the youth of Attawapiskat? All they wanted was a meeting with the director here and have a sincere discussion about what they're sincerely going to do, instead of for 3.5 hours dragging that out. Within a half hour, the police came here this morning, and for 3 hours, all she did is she couldn't meet. She wanted to meet one First Nations person behind closed doors, and they said, no, you come out here. So for 3 hours, she hummed and hawed, talked to the police, and then when she finally came out, it was only after all the mainstream media was here. And she did her obligatory 3 to 5 minutes, if even that, of talking at the First Nations people here. Typical INAC regional director, you know, we know the Indian agents, you know how nasty their history is. Well, it ain't no different in this day and age. And she could have changed everything, and it could have been, but no. She had to be a real prick about it, for lack of a better way of explaining it, so you understand it. So here, 14 hours later, it's after midnight. I guess now I can officially say it is day 2 of Occupy INAC. What do you have to say? Yes, the regional director is only a puppet. That's right, and they're the equivalent, like the nasty, Indian agents back in the day. Yeah.
I think Day1's out.
I must say, as a public sector union activist,
There we go, okay.
I don't know how to put it mildly. I'll say it in Icelandic.
Is that a battery?
The regional director here, I believe her name is Anna. She's a real...
That's okay, that should be fine.
Oh, I don't even want to use Icelandic. But she is not a nice lady, the regional director of this. No wonder INAC has problems. Well, what news? Well, there's this. Well, I could just imagine the Toronto Sun, Fascist Central. That's gonna. They're gonna. Oh. Oh, the Globe and Mail was here. BuzzFeed did a really good piece. Having a chance to read. Who? Did you hear that, folks?
What?
Trudeau is in the GTA. He's going to.
College?
Where's Fanshawe?
London.
London. Yeah, that's 2 hours due west as the crow flies in London, Ontario.
He needs to be up there, I don't care. Tell me when he's up there, I don't wanna hear about where else he is, other than there.
Well, we can demand to see him.
Sure, and then what?
Yeah, we don't need to see him, but Attawapiskat needs to see him.
No, all of them need to see him. It's not just all of us.
No, we don't need to see him here at INAC office, Attawapiskat. Yeah, and all of them, that's right.
Reserved.
Yes.
There's 137 boiling water advisories right now, and 87 are our First Nations. There's 2 of the First Nations out of there that are do not consume. One of them being Grassy Narrows and Shoal Lake. And that doesn't include BC, by the way. Does not include BC. Think about it, not having, and then the babies are coming up with these scabs on them because the chemicals that they have to counteract in the water up there makes them freaking break out in boils.
Okay, can you ask anybody that's in London, Ontario?
Disgusting conditions up there.
Trudeau's gonna be at Fanshawe, can anybody go
Go
over there
on, enjoy
tomorrow?
life, enjoy the $6 per month.
Do you hear that, folks? Anybody on the live chat watching from London, Ontario? Because Trudeau's going to be at Fanshawe, so we need to get people there. Fanshawe College in London. I'm sure, everyone know where Trudeau's going.
Leonidas, we need your help to go out there to London.
Make him accountable. Make him accountable.
Warren's out there.
Warren?
Remember? He's the underkeeper, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna call him.
I already went.
Maybe his phone is down. I'll try him on
What,
Facebook.
Kevin's coming back to me now as a friend? This guy Kevin Schofield that was friends with me in Ottawa, he unfriended me for some reason. Probably because I have someone else as a friend, because that's what everybody's been doing. And
People delete you because you have
I've just got about
people
30.
delete you because you have a friend.
Yeah, oh yeah. Tori told me about the reason why she unfriended me was because I was friends with Gabrielle Laflave in Ottawa. She's the girl that was in Ottawa. Remember when those Ottawa people came to Toronto and they came and sat with us for a bit? Those youths?
Okay.
It was her boyfriend, and then Brock was with us. Them, that girl. Because there's stuff between them, and I don't know more when Chief Spence was going on.
Hey, did you guys wonder if you grab your phone from me?
Yeah. Hello. Hey. Good. How are you?
That was on live. Worse.
Yeah. Well, you're calling us from IMAC. Yeah, we're in the building. We've been here over 12 hours. It's going good. We're holding court so far. You could ask yourself.
Thank you, Japage. So PM Justin Trudeau is going to be in London, Ontario tomorrow at Fanshawe College. So if we can get some peeps out there, that'll be great.
paid for all of that, but the water advisory report is wet there. Ironic. You know, all my water projects go through there. Yeah, so, I have to be small and people can go in the front, and they have to say home, because
Husband's niece, the one who's helping with Darlington. Oh, yeah? The engineer. This is her, one of her little guys. That's little D that was in his nose. He put the other day before. He and his brother were dancing around after dinner. Ryan, this guy was spinning around on the floor and laughing and coughing and sneezed this bead out of his nose. After much prompting, he finally admitted that he put it in his nose the day before at school and couldn't get it out. It was too embarrassed to tell his teachers and then forgot about it. And she said, we had such high hopes that he was smart.
Oh, that's not nice. Ticky did that too. She had a bean up there.
One of Jennifer's friends at school, when she was in elementary, you know, the little eraser at the top of the pencil? She just did start doing this, and then it went up her nose, and then it came, when she took it out, it stayed up there. She didn't have to ask her to go to the hospital, because she was trying to get it.
Yeah, they have to
and
twist.
yes. She kept pushing it up deeper.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids do that. It's pretty common.
It is.
Do you ever look at your friends and you wonder who are these people?
She's sleeping. Oh, no, she's not. She disappeared. She turned into a bag of diapers.
Oh my God! Really?
I don't know what happened.
Anybody need diapers?
No, I don't like my bucket.
They refuse us using the bathroom.
Derek apparently spoke with Carol and Bennett.
Who did?
Derek,
Derek. Neatna?
I guess so, I'm assuming so.
The chief?
Yeah.
The Grand Chief of all Manitoba Chiefs.
Somebody else told me the chief is speaking with the Minister of Apr13 now, so I guess when he left the building, he went and talked to her.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They're asking on the live chat, do we know roughly what time Justin Trudeau will be at Fanshawe tomorrow?
Maybe look on Facebook, there's probably a web page, or Google it.
It's probably an events page or
You can
something.
also check his calendar from the Parliament building.
He's a calendar online.
Yeah, he's gotta be transparent to the people.
I was just gonna say transparency.
Calendar
I don't know where it is all
at the
time.
Parliament.
Wow.
Well, I say we send some of our people that are down there out to whatever people we actually.
That's what they're doing right now.
Good.
And try and get, in London, try and get the indignants to live stream it.
Getting that out.
10:30 a.m. at Fanshawe. Thank you, Jap H.
I'll post it.
10:30 a.m. at Fanshawe.
She posted it on Facebook.
I guess you'll know where, according to iNews 880 AM, Trudeau will be at the center of applied technologies. Or just look for all the remote mainstream media vans wherever they're parked. I love the live chat, man.
Oh my God. I'll send it to you.
The kid got shot 5 times.
No, not that. Carolyn Bennett.
Did she say something? Because I was checking out her site.
Yeah, she did a question and answer.
$40 strawberries.
I just sent it to you.
Did you see that Those on reserve? They were great. This is a picture that circulated.
Yeah, it's called, it's in Greenwood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a case of that pure white water, $20.
But of course, the job, like, the person in it, it's just
A rose, you want to have a rose in it, that's like about this big, like 180, $200.
Oh,
And they told me that when they go, for them to hunt now for their food, it takes them 4 days, and they don't have the money or the ammunition to be able to travel for that long.
Justice Minister said to de-shackle Indian Act. Well, the Indian Act is 140 years old, and it should not get to 141. It should be disbanded, ripped up, ceremoniously gotten rid of, because that is the mechanism for colonialism of the First Nations here in Canada. And the Canadian Indian Act, is a racist act. Canadian Indian Act was the sole 100% basis of the apartheid system in the last half century in South Africa. It makes First Nations people wards of the state.
And whenever it's not used, it always goes back to my, it always goes back to my.
Actually, I'm not sure. I just prayed over it.
Yeah, we did some, praying for it, even like kill it, and so they were. Lay there, even if it's still breathing, you'll see that they're like, it's a cross, but
And also,
giving thanks for all that, for God.
it's hard to learn how to fly my bow better because I really enjoy archery. If I can learn how to free range and pursue with birds, I would love that. I think that would be increase and I would feel better about the right?
So that's part of one of the camps that was right up north, is for food security. Yeah, sure enough, I put it out.
so then we should continue her. She's running greenhouses and stuff, that was more responding.
Well, yeah, we don't know.
Dropped them off, like, hand of bed, like, picked it up to the bed, and she's like,
Yeah, it's gonna get hard for a lot of people in the next 10 years, trust. The economy's gonna bottom out, and everybody's gonna have to depend on each other to survive. They created this bubble of money, and they're not gonna back it. So once that bubble pops, that's it.
It's just so strange. Oh, good job. Like, we can say that as a community, we come together and look at what's left of the state. Because money
cleaned up her
and
house.
this resources that it's
Well, some
for.
people.
Well, of course.
And like came here.
I know.
I'm a minimum one.
No, I'm saying in terms like the possibility. That would be possible without generosity.
That's how. So yes,
Option is really
really
just
Well, that's the problem, right?
I feel like just like some like folks go to Africa and like take a shovel and take a picture and then leave. I know up north and it's very neat.
Well, also, whatever,
There's only been one person that I know is constantly advocating for First Nations, and she was like, and that's their And Chief he's always,
well, that's what she's like freaking out, right? And
People, folks are maybe
Rono Show. Joining us from the late shift at Coach House Press in Toronto. Always a show within a show.
Again, creator speech, right? And they come to cruelty. He wants to be here, but he has to take care of the rest of the country and his not I just wanted to stop in case, like, you know, anyways. This is a personal friend, so I was just like super together. And when we started, like, I just saw a post on Facebook, like, really helpful, working on it, so he really great. I was like, that's fun, I'm gonna work, you know, but then kind of more of it, like,
We're occupying Indian and Northern Affairs Canada offices at 25 Sinclair Avenue East there, Rono, and we've been occupying it for close to 14 hours now, since about 10 a.m. Wednesday, April 13th, 2016 for the Deep Archives. And we're here, day 2.
So some of them, isn't there Nike and Rose are on there, like, and also go for yourself, like, I could record on people, you just remind them, like, wait, we're in the wrong people, we're not in the wrong, we're here occupying space, taking space. In honor of the children.
We took over the office. Yeah, that's fucking all over the fucking news, man. I sent you a link on your Facebook. Take a look. Yeah, man. I saw your posting in the Northern Blackfoot movement. We're like all over the news. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. Go online. Go online and look at INAC protesters take over INAC or INAC protesters Toronto.
Hashtag INAC Occupier.
And you'll see a whole bunch of fucking stuff, man. Nice. Do you see it? Yeah, we're still here.
Triple time, Sergeant.
Yeah, take a look at all the stuff that we were doing. Uh-huh. I will. Just hold on. I'll just hold on.
Anyway, so both of them, she was pregnant, everyone's, she's you don't know if that is because she's been playing the field. So, so they, I think it's his, so he's the engineer, and so he married her. Shortly into the
Fight my brothers and sisters, my heart is with you.
little tiny town called St. Martin's. Okay. Like almost an hour outside of St. John. Just a little bit, and, it's like, it's really like people who grow up together, so nobody moves, they all just stay there, and then.
15,000 views on the video, amazing. What have you guys been doing for?
Not doing anything.
Oh, yeah.
Play bingo and that's it, eat bonbons.
It's a good one. I'm glad I came here, so.
Plays bingo, she plays bingo.
Okay.
And no, my mom could look after the baby. And she's pregnant, she's saying these things. And he's like, the young man there is like, what do you mean you're not gonna look after them? What do you mean? And then she's not so funny.
It's kind of a deal. I decided to look at it. Just for will be.
And he's still going to school.
Yeah.
She was still going to school. They were both, working sometimes. He was working, she sometimes not. And then she posted some pictures of her and some other guy. They say that she's tired of being in there. She's following guy. And it's on Facebook.
And she's pregnant.
Yeah, well, this is when they've had a baby.
Oh.
And now they've had a baby. And she's not looking at it. The mom's looking at it. One of the jobs, I guess, or actually she was going to school. She was doing some
My mind is racing.
and one of the places she was going to old person had their diaper changed. Ew. So she didn't want to touch it, so she put another diaper around the diaper that was already on her, so she had to change it. So she gets fired.
It doesn't work that way.
No, she got let go. Like horse.
No kidding.
And then she doesn't want to diaper her own kid, let alone some icky old person. Oh my God.
It's very like telling for surrounding genres when you're just like, yeah, this is this let's just see if she's running this stuff. It's like you don't get to do something. You're going to always be going to do like the I'm very grateful to have had someone that conducted me like the stages of life and how we should child and then yeah, and now there's this like now your job is to kind of give back to and help them this way and that's your goal. So it's just there's this entire generation of people not being aware in this way or having feeling like
Anyway, so she's pregnant again.
oh, and
She's still saying it's the guy she's with. Yes. Yet it's still some other guy. And so now he's finally woken up. And yeah.
it's a shame to see as a young guy still trying to do
He's like 19, married and divorcing. He's divorcing her. And having one baby that he's going to say is his. Yeah, he's bothered with that child.
Yeah.
So he's been looking after it at different times. When he ran from the weekends and stuff. But now she's saying she's going to say a child that is your child. No, he's been with at least 2 other guys that we've seen on Facebook. And so you can't pull that one together.
It's so crazy because this guy is very emotional. He was said to have say, like, how do you feel when you tell your daughter
Did you guys read the thing from Derek? Here, did you read the thing from Derek? Okay, I can see it whenever.
What did he say, Sue?
Did you guys, can I just tell you?
No, what did he say, Sue?
So Derek Napanek posted at 11 o'clock tonight. Let me tell you, Dana. Occupy INAC. I just spoke with INAC Minister Bennett. Yeah, it's a fluid situation right now. Beautiful people occupying the space at the Toronto INAC office. Minister stated that the Prime Minister is willing to speak to the community members, particularly the youth, and find solutions enabler to the community. How that transpires is part of the constant discussion ongoing. I told her the Toronto police have allowed food and water, but no access to what bathroom, which is not right. I asked her to make access to the bathroom possible for everyone, and that the small things will make a huge difference now. I told her this is a national issue, not confined to one community, but tragedy unfolding everywhere, breaking all of our hearts all at once. She agreed with me. Responses are yes, if only we can elect someone that will bring in real people, so we have the chance you are creating now at this time in the US. The people would be liable to be simply mowed down in gunfire only. Thanks for being there, subservient reportorial. Repertorial, I don't know, voice.
Is it on Twitter or?
This is on Facebook. Him and I are friends on Facebook, so he tagged me in it, so. MP Charlie Angus, who requested the emergency debate in response to the suicide crisis in Ottawa Piscat Nation, said it is unfortunate that Trudeau, also Minister of Youth, decided to attend a liberal book launch instead.
Jeez. That's where it is.
A book launch then.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Where was Charlie Angus prior to last federal election? It's his job as well. Charlie Angus has been there fighting, and he has.
Yes.
And he has. He was always there.
Why don't you take a break, Captain?
Has
I
been
need
there
to go to
for the
sleep,
community from
get
day
some
one
sleep.
to not
Yeah, you
know
should.
And,
acknowledge hard work is uneducated.
So what I'm gonna do,
It is long
folks,
history of advocating
is
for government to take
we'll be.
action that's
I'm gonna sleep for a few
are
hours,
focused on doing what we
and
can
then
to implement the
we'll be
94
back
calls to action
in a couple
of
hours.
TRC, petition our
Stay
MP,
tuned. Want some offline content? Follow this channel. Follow me on Twitter. I always tweet out when I'm live, and you get an email when we live, automatic, as well, if you follow on this channel. So I'm gonna save this because I'm falling asleep, and I will be back in a couple hours. I just need to get some sleep, and we'll take it from there. Okay? So
as any warrior out there, he is an ally.
let me just save this, folks. I was falling asleep there. That's right. You're seeing your birthday.
Do that. Do more as well.
Okay, so entertain yourself.
Will be able to pull
I'm gonna save this. I'll be back in a couple hours. I just need to get a little bit of sleep
as tomorrow will be
and charge up everything. Okay,
being on the phone since
ciao,
this
folks,
afternoon,
and yar and yar.
the liberal agenda pushed through section 35 of the Constitution of the guise of abolishing the Indian Act and saving up by withholding, stalling, and occupying leadership with consultations conferencing long enough to stockpile Aboriginal dollars to balance the budget in time for the next election, release of funds being contingent on the next election perhaps, which is what you had already addressed. Sees that the things See, that's the thing, liberals undo that tight grip of conservative rules the last 10 years. Good plans don't happen overnight.
Wow.
But she's still in that.
That was just one thing.